Welcome back. This is the Woo Report, episode 99. I'm your host, Sam Woo, here with Pucks and Pitchforks blog contributor Vinnie Parise as we remember Jimmy Hayes. The reports came out yesterday. I first learned it yesterday, Vinnie. John Butchergross tweeted that out. And news spread, first thing we do is try to confirm it. This is, unexpected and came out of nowhere, and it's always hard when one of the players that you followed or on your team passes away, especially at the age of 31, young. But you did an article on pucksandpitchforks.com yesterday. You did some looking up on him. Tell us a little bit about Jimmy Hayes.
Well, it seems like Jimmy was a well-liked guy. It seemed just based on everything I've read, we obviously never met him in person. Um, it just seemed like whenever he entered a room, people were happy. It brought up the mood. He seemed to bring out the best in people. It was evident when he was on the Devils in 2017-18. I think he was a good piece to have there when, you're bringing in a bunch of young kids trying to learn their way. And when you make an impact like that in such a short amount of time, it tells a lot about you as a person. And, it just never seemed like anything ever had a bad thing to say about the guy. When someone passes away, you learn a lot about them, even more from the stories of the people closest to them. And some of the people closest to him from that area in Dorchester, Massachusetts, where it seems like the entire Hayes family is just legendary. And, you go on and you play for BC and then the Bruins, like, it just seemed like he earned everything he got. And, like I said, just a really nice guy by all accounts.
Yeah, that's just a recurring theme when you read on social media, read statements. One of the greatest things about hockey fans, the community, whether you're in the United States, Canada, abroad, you all come together when these things happen. Seeing the tweets coming out, even from the Edmonton Oilers, uh, hockey fans know, and hockey fans, we go at it with our banter. We cheer on our own team. Sometimes we go over the line at the arena. But when it comes to something like this, that all goes away. We're all friends. We all care. And seeing that come out uh, was touching. I think heartbroken for a lot of us. A lot of us didn't know him. But when you hear what people have said, I think Pete Albies, the Devils PR guy, I don't know his official title, but he said to somebody tweeted this out saying he was always the guy that had you laughing before he even got to the punchline. And that's the kind of theme that what people remember Jimmy Hayes. And also what I learned as well that the Hayes family, the Kachuk family, and the Fitzgeralds not only all know each other, but they're all related. Um, and I found that also fascinating because it's a Boston hockey thing. But he was always the guy that kept you smiling, and what's evident of it, I saw again on Twitter of him making Adam Henrique smile for before some event. They were wearing the pink jerseys. That's what I got out of it. That he was one of those a man's man, a teammate that you wanted on your team.
Yeah. I mean, and that makes it to me just, it makes it like so sad, but it also makes it like, it's interesting to see all these people that were close to him come out and give the sentiments that they have, because you learned in a span of a day how much of an impact he had on the hockey community, and especially the local community, over there in Boston. And, it's kind of similar in a sense to what goes on in New Jersey. Like, everybody knows each other. It's kind of a big, like, just a devil's community. Like, the same
Mhm.
thing there with Jimmy, and he was a big part of it. So it's crazy that this happened, and I'm so sad about it.
Yeah, and it's also a reminder to all of us that these hockey players, they're human beings. Our condolences to his wife, Kristen, two young kids that he leaves behind. These are, when we think, hockey players, they're immortal, unstoppable, and all that, but they're human beings. It's what Tom Fitzgerald said one time, that these draft picks, they're human beings. They're just not a pick you trade away or whatnot. And it's just to see the hockey community come together when Rod Gilbert passed away, New York Rangers just a couple days ago, or Tony Esposito, and players in the past, more of the younger side like Derek Beauregard, the boogeyman, or
Hmm.
um, or Rick Rippon from Vancouver's, I
Yep.
think passed away about,
2011.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you hear stories of even players that went through a bad time. You had no idea things going on, and but it makes you appreciate what we have, and just and it goes beyond hockey, and but Jimmy Hayes, he lived a very positive life, and if there's anything we learned about his life, that he was very positive throughout his career. Boston College national champion. None of us can ever come close to those achievements. It's very hard to make it to the NHL, stay in the NHL, and even have a lasting impact. And I said this to you for off air, that some players have an emotional impact that can't be shown in the stat sheet. I don't think it's a coincidence that Jimmy Hayes was on the New Jersey Devils, played 33 games, but it was that Devils team that actually made the playoffs. Pat Maroon tweeted out something again. Um, Emotional.
Brian
They
Boyle.
loved him. Yep, Brian Boyle as well. I'll also, and because this was raw emotion, I'm going to group text with Scotty, Beer Baron, and Short Sky, and I'll read you what Beer Baron wrote when this happened. A few hours after it happened, when we got word yesterday. Reading everything today just rips you apart. By all accounts, he seemed like an amazing guy, and leaving behind two little boys who won't even remember who he was in life. Heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking. And that just summed it up. And obviously, with this podcast, we want to pay our respects to the Hayes family, to everybody who knew him, family, friends, and the fans that followed him throughout his career. Boston College as well. Just and what what hurts the most for me is he was an American-born hockey player. American-born hockey player. How far USA Hockey has gone since 1980, 40 years ago, over 40 years ago, that, you know, the success he had at the collegiate level and making it to the NHL, that it used to be kind of, it was mostly all Canadians back in the day when I was watching
Yeah,
hockey. But to
they've
see,
come a long way.
a American-born kid out of Boston take hockey by storm in Boston College, a national champion, and getting his chance in the NHL. It, to me, it makes it even harder. You know, so
Yeah, he got to live all the dream we wanted to live. Like, you know,
and he
he's
did it.
gone too soon, but yeah, and he made an impact, and he got to play for four NHL teams. Technically, was part of five, and it's something that we all would have wanted to do, and he got to do it, and he did it while being a fantastic human being, a genuine human being, by all accounts, a giving human being.
Yeah,
So it's just tough.
yeah, and the pictures on social media, you can't help but but look, the family photo on Instagram. I think it was his wife's Instagram or someone's Instagram. With
Hmm.
all their kids together. But you know how we always say this. This is what hockey is all about. I think this is one of those moments where you hear fans that don't even follow the Devils or don't even follow any of the teams they played on. We're all heartbroken. You remember Colby Cave, Edmonton Oilers, that last year.
Yep.
The photo of his wife, with the ring, being with him at bedside. Again, all heartbreaking. But as we know as hockey fans, uh, and this is why we all love the sport of hockey and why we love hockey fans, is because we are real and we step up when that time comes. As a community, as a whole, if you remember Humboldt as well, the Humboldt Broncos, that tragic accident, again, nothing but a positive response in you know, such a heartbreaking thing up in Canada. Again, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Um, Hockey fans stick together, and and I'll speak for you, on behalf of everybody. We thank you for it because we've been reading the comments, on social media.
Yeah, it makes you proud to be a part of the hockey community. When you see tragedy strike like what happened with Jimmy Hayes or Humboldt a couple years ago. I remember when Dena Lang had her serious injury playing for the Boston Pride in the Winter Classic, watching guys like Patrice Bergeron and Zdeno Chara step up the way they have. We'll see what the NHL does when they come back to training camp and preseason to honor guys like Jimmy Hayes and Tony Esposito. And it's so sad, but it brings us together even more and helps us remember that it is a community and we all are here to achieve a goal of being part of something bigger. And while you're here, you don't know how long it's going to be, and you might as well try and make as positive of an impact as you can. And I would venture to say that Jimmy Hayes did that with ease.
Yeah, and I hope the Devils do something. Something maybe a number 10 patch. Yes, I know he only played for 1 year, but this goes beyond hockey. We're all interconnected and family here. And I think it would be, just a little symbolic gesture honoring Jimmy Hayes. And yeah, and it's just kind of like getting back to the Humboldt thing. If you remember everyone leaving their hockey sticks outside, you know,
Yep,
I hope we can do
I did it.
something. Yep, we all did. Hopefully we can do something for this season for Jimmy Hayes. And again, we send our sincere condolences and sympathies to the Hayes family. And we leave you with this, remembering Jimmy Hayes.